Welcome to 2A for Today. This is Zoe, your host of 2A for Today, distributed by the New American Magazine. I got a treat for you guys today. A brother named Whitfield Smith out of Jonesboro, Georgia. Why don't you check this video out real quick?
This all was caught on surveillance cameras. Fox 5 reporter Eric Perry is live outside the home in Clayton County. So Eric, what happened?
Yeah, Tom, Christine, honestly, what happened, that group of men picked the wrong house code to try to burglarize here. You can see the evidence on this BMW from that shootout, just riddled with gunfire. That man said he just wanted to make sure his wife was protected.
I don't want to die at home. I survived Afghanistan and everything else, and to die at home in my own yard.
The goal for Whitfield Smith was to protect his family and home early Monday morning when he noticed a group of men on his Ring camera.
I'm noticing a young man running from my neighbor's yard across my front lawn into the middle of the street to meet up with two other gentlemen.
One of the men made a near fatal decision.
Sprints of my driveway. I can see on camera that he's hunched down wearing a gray hoodie and he's got some kind of firearm in his hand. He reaches to try to get into my BMW that's in the driveway. The door's locked. Grab my rifle, head outside.
With flip-flops, pajama pants, and no shirt, this veteran went to war to protect his wife who was hiding inside.
Boom, 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 boom. There was one gentleman that was on the other side of the trees, and the main protagonist was right here using my truck as a shield.
At one point, he kicked off his flip-flops, races inside, puts on clothes, and comes back out. He says he didn't have time to be afraid. Only time to act.
I didn't think that they'd be shooting at me and I'd be hearing bullets whiz past me.
This father fears he would have been dead if it wasn't for his BMW to shield the nearly 24 bullets.
They said, Mr. Smith, you're very brave. You're very brave. You're very crazy. You're very stupid. But you're very brave.
Yeah, and Mr. Smith is alive. Thankfully, no one was injured in any of this. He says that the group of men actually got away with the firearm that he had inside of his truck there. He also says that after the gunfire really erupted, they tried to break into neighbors' homes to escape. They were unsuccessful, but they are still out there. If you know anything about this, come forward to Clayton County Police. Of course, you can remain anonymous. Scary moments here in Clayton County, but that's the latest. I'm Eric Perry, Fox 5 News.
Yeah, he made it through Afghanistan, and this happens in his own front yard. Unbelievable.
Unreal.
Eric, thanks.
Our 2A for Today Modern Militiaman is actually in the studio with us by way of Zoom today. His name is Whitfield Smith. Whitfield, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
It's so great, man, to that you actually are here, because things could have turned out quite differently.
Yes, it was pretty close. It was pretty close. A couple of shots were pretty close. They were whizzing by.
Yeah.
You get that little mosquito sound. Well, so when you're getting shot at, first time I was in Afghanistan, I was in Trek Nawa, Afghanistan. First time a bullet goes past you, you hear a bullet goes past you, think it's a mosquito because it's zip, zip, zip. And it's like, wow, mosquito. And then you see the impacts and it's like, oh, those are not mosquitoes at all. And so this was reminiscent of that. Like you said, I just thank God that I'm here, for my family and be able to talk to you guys.
Yeah, there's a phenomenon too when you're under fire and you fire back, you don't even hear the gun go off sometimes. Did you experience that too?
No, it's a pretty loud gun. I got pretty big guns, so I definitely heard them go off. But it was like being it was kind of like being shrouded, like kind of being in a chamber, like just kind of being shrouded in a chamber, and it wasn't as loud as you would think. Yeah, I guess you would say it kind of minimized the sound. It was like it was more happening, and I kind of remember the sound, but at the time, yeah, you really don't hear it. Now that you mention it, I'll agree. You really don't really hear it so much at the time. Mm-hmm. I saw those muzzle flashes.
Mm-hmm. How many of them were
there? Individuals?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So initially I thought it was I thought it was 2 guys, or that I was shooting at, but apparently it was 5 altogether. Yeah, so there were 2 guys in a truck that dropped the guys off, and then there were 3 guys on foot. And when we looked on camera, we could see where they were coming from. My neighbors from both sides. One came from the neighbor to the right. 2 were in the bushes on my neighbor on the left side. They left gold chains. We found those like 3 days later behind my neighbor's bushes.
Now, and what were you defending yourself with?
Initially, don't laugh. I'm gonna embarrass myself here, but I'm gonna give High Point some kudos. I have a High Point carbine. So it's a carbine stock 995, shoots 9mm rounds. Okay. And I got that because when I initially was going to deploy, I needed a weapon that my wife would be able to shoot without too much recoil and kickback, because I was going to be gone for 7 to 9 months. Mm-hmm. But we kept it. It works. But I needed an AR-15. So initially I came out with the 995. And that's when you see me on the video, I'm laying down rounds, and then I'm running back in suppression because they're firing back like dozens of shots. So I'm shooting and they're shooting back like repeatedly. So I kick off my flip-flops, go in the house, and I get the AR-15, which is chambered in .300 blackout. And that's what you need to defend yourself with. Yeah. When it's a real life defense situation, I thought they would flee. Initially, I'm like, okay, I'll just go out there, shoot them, scare them before they steal anything or hit the button, which everybody's like, you're just trying to protect your cars and car. No, idiot. If they get in the vehicle, one button, you're in the house. Yeah. And now it's just
enough of them. There's enough of them.
And it's 4 or 5 gentlemen, and they came armed. I have to assume they wanted more than the hubcaps off my car.
They didn't come for the car, man. You don't need 3 people to go get a car.
And I appreciate that, because that wasn't what was going through my mind when I ran out the house, start naked, and I don't have my PT bod that I used to have, so it wasn't a I'm so sexy moment. I'm out there in my Winnie the Pooh silk pajama bottoms, flip flops, and the absolute cheapest firearm that my family owns, and so literally, I didn't think it was going to escalate to what it did. But when I went out there and they started returning fire, I'm like, oh, wow. Got to go get an actual tool that can do the job.
Wow. Yeah. Well, it sounds like you know what you're doing. You're trained, what you're handling. You built, obviously, it sounds like you built some stuff. So tell me a little bit about your training.
So I'm going to give a shout out to my first sergeant Hart with 19 Marines. He's retired now. But he's FMTB, Fleet Marine Force Training Battalion. They train me on iron sights.
Hoorah, devil dog. Hoorah.
Thank you, boss. Thank you, hoorah. And so they got me good on iron sights, but first sergeant honed me in. I can't use the colorful language that he used, but he made me better. And at the time, it was tough love, but thank God, I literally called him. I called him on the phone. I keep in contact with most of my brothers and my sisters in the armed forces. And I literally called him. I said, hey man, I don't care what anybody says on the videos or anything like that. Thank you. Because I remember that moment. Like, you know how you have those snippets in your mind. And I literally flash back, we're in 29 Palms. And I literally hear him hitting my Kevlar helmet. Doc, what are you doing? And I'm trying to shoot the AR-15 like we did in FMTB, with the Navy, with the ACOG, the same way I did with iron sights. It doesn't work that way. And I'm like, but I'm a good shot. I swear to God. He's like, well, you're not a bleepity bleep good at nothing, are you? And I'm like, but I'm doing it right. And I'm like having a Colin Noir. I don't know if you know who Colin Noir is. Yeah. But he has this one video. He's trying to shoot this new weapon he's got. And you could tell he's getting emotional. He's like almost at tears, because it's frustrating when you're really trying to do something well. And for your best efforts, you can't do it. And there's nothing you can do about it. And now people are watching you, and that pressure kicks in. And so I really can relate to the guy. So anyway, I'm at that moment and I'm like, but I know I'm good. And I've done it good before. And he's like, what are you doing? So he shows me how to line the ACOG up, how to aim properly with the sights. And once we had that little delightful interaction, I'll call it.
Colorful.
I was spot on, and I was so proud of myself. And he's like, GD, he smashed me on the Kevlar again, one for instruction and one for congratulations, I guess,
Yeah.
And he's like, now you got it. That's it. And now I'm just tearing up everything. I'm keyholing everything. And I was so happy. And so I couldn't, well, I'm not going to say I couldn't wait, but you know how you can't wait to prove yourself. I'm worthy. I took it as an honor to be able to serve with Marines. That is an honor. You know what I'm saying? And not only to serve with them, but to be accepted in that community and looked at as a brother. And when they go from calling you Corpsman to Doc, it means something. And my brothers definitely call me Doc. And I carry that in a kind of way, like it'll never go. I'm getting a little emotional right now, but it means a lot to me. And I'm just proud of everything else. Like I said, those guys, they poured into my cup. They say I poured into theirs, but I swear they poured into my cup and they helped me to be able to handle situations like this. So
obviously.
Yeah. And it doesn't come out until it needs to happen. I'm not walking around every day, I'm Billy bad butt or anything like that. But when it hits the fan, so to speak, and it comes out, like my first firefight, it hit the fan, it came out. And it was surreal because I kind of stepped back from myself, like, that's you? Yeah. Like literally, I was scared. You know what? When I get to, what if I fail? What if the training doesn't kick in? What if I'm scared and I don't react? And I let all these people down? How would I ever come home, face my wife, my father, uncles, grandfather? I'm fourth generation. My son is fifth generation. And I wanted to join the Air Force. I wanted to be in the sky, far away from any kind of face-to-face, close quarter, anything. That's why I scored so high on the tests.
Yeah.
But, when it happened, it kicked in. And I thank God for that. Yeah. Thank God for the Marine Corps. Yeah. I love my brothers, man. I that's the best way I can explain it. I thank God for those guys, man, because the training is so continuous and repetitive. Even gun safety, treat, never keep, treat, never keep. They say it so much. And I don't want to throw anybody on the bus, but if you screw it, you know how that is. If you screw it up, they'll do some interesting things to train you up on it, like tying your gun or taping your gun to your arm and to your person, to the point where you'll get it. But you realize how important it is. Yeah. You got people on the side of you that are dependent on you, and vice versa. So,
well, I don't think you should, necessarily get a carrier plate and go run around the woods with your AR-15,
right,
and play militia. But I think there's a real need for you to take what you've learned and help, gather your neighbors together, because obviously this is probably shaking up your community. It wasn't just one person randomly lost his mind and, was depressed because of a girlfriend or something, and just kind of, this was people who premeditated, planned out, hiding in the bushes, hoodied and masked up, ready to light you up. And that's not good. So tell me a little bit about what you going forward. Do you have any plans to kind of, your family, tell me about their training, and then tell me if you have any plans for helping your neighbors and becoming a defensive community.
So my wife and I, we go to the gun range frequently. I'm giving shouts out to these people I feel like they should be like paying me or giving me something for Cash App or something. But so we go to Autry's continuously. They give us military discount and they let us kind of just have at it with shooting and whatnot. My wife she's actually a pretty good shot. So with a pistol, she's I'm not gonna say better, but she's pretty good. She's gotten comfortable with the weapon, and even loading and unloading the clips with fingernails. I'm like, that's pretty impressive. So so we train, and my son, he's a Marine now, so he's super trained. My oldest son, I've taught him most of what I know. So he's very competent with pistols and rifles and whatnot, and how to protect himself and situational awareness. I think I preach that more than anything else. Keep your eyes open on what's around you, and I know that they're probably, They're like, wow, dad's at it again. But that's what I preach that more than anything else. If you are aware of what's around you, you could prevent something before it happens usually, But moving forward, to answer that question, we're selling the house. So we're going to live with family in Texas for a while we try to secure another residence. But yeah, we had to, I thought it was in the best interest to leave, and it's abrupt, and it's not the most favorable or better yet, it's not the most comfortable thing to do.
I mean, we grow up, we feel like we graduate, we want to move someplace safe. Tell me a little bit about your journey there and what it's like.
Okay, I'll give you the attenuated version, the shortened version. But when my wife got with me, I was recently divorced. I had a very bad first marriage, abuse and all kind of stuff. I was the victim, believe it or not. Men get abused, but whatever. So when my wife met me, I was kind of cantankerous, and I kind of like, I just want to be by myself, join the army. I'm gonna join the army. But at the time, I was literally homeless. I was in Michigan. I was homeless, and I had my little car wash, but it was failing. This was 2007, 2008. And I don't know if you remember, but everything went down in Michigan. Detroit was the #1 unemployed area in the United States. It was like #1. Employment was horrible. And I ended up being homeless. You divorce, your wife gets the house, your ex-wife, whatever, she gets the house, the resources anyway. And I'm fine with that. But ended up being homeless. Winter start coming. And I mean, it was just bad. My wife met me as I hit rock bottom. And I told her, look, I do have a plan. I'm going to join the military. I do have education. I'm not just this loser guy. Just if you could just give me 6 months. So she gave me 6 months, and we ended up getting married before the 6-month period was over. I got married May 28th, 2008. I was in boot.
That's real love, brother. Wow.
I was in boot camp May 29th, 2008. So I spent my honeymoon with 80 guys. I used to love joking about that. Like, dude, you think you got it tough? I spent my honeymoon with 80 dudes. So fast forward, we've been Illinois, we've been North Carolina, Georgia, Florida. We've been all over the United States, and she's been rocking with me. My entire family's been rocking with me, and we've progressed. I went from running to base a mile and a half to work, a mile and a half back, running back and forth to work. To keep in shape and keep off the dad bod and everything. While my wife took the one and only car we had to saving up and getting another little beater car and driving that for 6 months to a year and trading it in and saving up and not going to the clubs when everybody goes. And she worked with me, and over years, in about 5 years, we were doing good. And everybody thought it happened overnight. It was like, no, I used to run to work. I show up, I'm sweaty. I have to leave extra early. So when I get to work, I could shower and be in uniform and and still work. My legs are sore. And I did this for like a year and a half, saving up my little coins, and, got an old Monte Carlo and fixed it up. And they're like, HM3 Petty Officer Smith has this nice Monte Carlo. I'm like, bro, I saved and scrimped it. While you guys were having fun, they used to make fun of me. I used to eat Vienna sausages and stuff at work. And I used to joke like, oh yeah, this is just how we used to do it growing up. But what they didn't know is I really just didn't have the extra money to go to McDonald's and all these other places, even go to the galley, because I'm married, so I have to use my BAS and my BAS, out of pocket, So anyway, I'm not going to the galley. They're like, what are you doing? I'm like, oh no, man, this is the old way. It's how we used to do it in the hood, type stuff. But I'm eating Viennas and crackers and freaking, what are those little sardines?
Sorry, peanut butter sandwiches.
Yeah, and they hated me because they're like, oh God, Smith is eating sardines, but it's protein. I got the omega-3s, and I'm getting cut up. And by the time I got a car, I was well on my way. But that's how it very humble beginnings. And my wife
was the American dream, bro. You're the American dream, man.
Yeah, I got the American dream wife, man. I swear, if it wasn't for my wife and my kids, like, there's days, man, you're like, I don't want to do this crap anymore. This sucks. They're yelling at me. I'm not even wrong. And you look begging, like, I can't let the wife and kids down. And someday my youngest son, man, when I picked up petty officer, it was my goal to make rank as quick as I could because I was already a little older than my peers. And I pinned on 3rd class. And my son, he didn't even know any better. I walked in the door after I pinned on. I had my pin on ceremony. He got out of school. I'm home. And he's like, petty officer 3rd class. I was like, wow, coming through. Dude, I mean, that's what we do it for, right?
Amen. Amen.
So that's my motivation.
You wanted him to be safe, so you moved into a safer neighborhood.
Yeah.
And, yeah. So I mean, I thank God for you, man. I thank God for your example too. What a story. You are the American dream.
Thank you.
I wish that your story was the made-for-TV movie. I wish that your story was the one that's being taught in the public schools to the young children who are being taught to live entitled lives, and everybody owes them something. Your whole story is Americanism encapsulated. Whitfield Smith, man, thank you so much for being on the show today. Anything you want to share with anybody before we go?
Well, first, I just want to thank you guys for your time and listening to me just run on about myself and everything like that. I appreciate the platform and just having a forum to be able to talk like this. The Second Amendment is near and dear to my heart. This country of ours, I mean, especially for us. And I don't want this to get interpreted the wrong way, but as a Black man in America, I'm beyond proud to be an American, if that makes sense.
Amen.
I'm beyond proud because in a way we really fought for it. I really feel like we earned our place at the table, and to not appreciate that, embrace that, and stand on it, it's kind of like a waste. I mean, a lot of people put in a lot of work for people like me and you to even be here. Yeah, and what better way than to represent it and to appreciate and to take advantages of some of the things that we have, some of the rights that we have. First Amendment, Second Amendment, 14th Amendment, to not take advantage of it. Yeah. So it's near and dear to my heart. It's near and dear to my heart.
I call it America as God's redemptive gift to the world. There's never been another place in the history of the documented world where two people who looked exactly alike went to war over a bunch of pickaninnies that didn't look nothing like over a principle, over a value, over an ideal that they weren't able to live in at the time, but they were looking forward to. And I am that future. I thank God for that.
Yeah. And so why shouldn't we do our part to pour into the cup a little bit, and I'm still in that, but I got that from I'm giving shout outs to everybody. So a former CEO of mine, Captain Maureen Patton, awesome lady. I had the awesome privilege of serving under her, and she would give these speeches and at ceremonies and whatnot, and a lot of people are like, oh God, but I was listening to her. And she really captivated me. And she used to have this saying called lean in and pouring in the cups. And I'm like, what's this pouring in the cups? So being a lean Six Sigma green belt, I ended up doing a project for the hospital that I was in Pensacola. And I got a chance to actually meet her, like face to face, like one-on-one, like more intimate than the big group of the 300 sailors, and really kind of hear her. And she really, really meant it. She was like, there's going to be times where it's tough and you got to lean in. And I was like, lean in. She was like, no, lean into it. Put your whole weight into it, your whole body into it. And, pouring in the cups, like, if you pray to God, and I don't know your religion, but if you pray to God, you ask for your cup to overflow, wealth, abundance, so such and so forth. But why would you pray only for a full cup if you could pray for a cup that's overflowing? Yeah. Because if the cup is overflowing and other people have their hands open, then you could pour in their cups with your excess. Yeah. So shoot for that. And when she told me that, it was like different things start clicking in my head. I kind of start moving over that. So I got to give her flowers right now. That's great. I don't know if she's watching this, but wherever you are, Captain Patton, I appreciate you.
You know what? And we appreciate you, Whitfield Smith. We're out of time, but I so appreciate the conversation. Thank you for your life story too, man. I'm telling you, it's what every American needs to hear.
Thank you.
Your appreciation, your diligence, your perseverance, and your heart of compassion to take care of your family, your neighbors. It's Americanism, like I said, encapsulated. So thank you for joining us on 2A for Today. Again, my name is Zoe. At 2A for Today, we explore and we expose all things Second Amendment related, all things that protect, threaten, and violate our God-given rights, our Second Amendment protected right to keep and bear arms. Thank you for joining us. If you got any questions or concerns, just put them in the comments below, and I'll get to them as soon as we can in the coming weeks and days and months. So God bless you guys. Thank you for watching 2A for Today. Again, I'm Zoe, and we'll see you next time.